look different in glasses. Anyway, I'm going to read where we are and where this world is. And there was given me a reed unto like a rod. The angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of God, and one altar, the altar, and them that worship therein. In other words, there's going to be a shortage on worshipers in the temple because people will be afraid to go to church at one point. And God is going to thin the flocks out, which he has done in some churches because of the internet. Now, but the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months. That's how long they will tread Israel underfoot. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses. They shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. 2 witnesses, these are the 2 candlesticks he's talking about. These are the 2 olive trees and 2 candlesticks standing before God of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth, and devoureth their enemies. So if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. In other words, fire will come out of their mouth and proceed toward their enemies. In other words, if they burn the person that is an olive tree, they will be burnt themselves in the same manner. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy. In other words, they have the power to open the windows to heaven and get anything they need, like a seal on their head, a seal for their heart, mind, and soul. They have the power to do that. And that's what this is referring to. In other words, they have different powers that they can call God down if they have to. They can do whatever it takes to make the prophecy known. And they have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. But the problem is, with power comes responsibility. I'm not reading that, but it's true. And these people, these witnesses, have a lot of responsibility. That's why they don't go around people, because the problem is too many people creates more responsibility for them. They are responsible for people around them, and they have to watch and take care of and protect those people. It's not always easy. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. They're talking about the internet, which is ran by Satan. The internet will try to overcome them and in its way try to kill them through the courts, through everything that they can imagine. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, which also our Lord was crucified. And that's during the time of the war to end all wars, that their bodies will lay in the great city, because they will participate in the rapture and be helping Christ with the war to end all wars. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half. They're going to lay in the street for 3.5 days. Their bodies are. And shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. They won't have to be buried at all. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, make merry, shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. The reason they tormented them was because they told the truth. All prophets tell the truth. And because we tell the truth, they don't like that. People don't like anything that's the truth because the internet spreads lies. They would rather listen to the internet than they would the truth. That's why. And these people are not liked by the Christians. They're not liked by the churches. Even though they are Christians and even though they follow God and fellowship with Christ and God, they are still not liked. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. In other words, God of the earth will breathe life into these witnesses. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. They ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies were in awe and beheld them. It shocked their enemies. Because just think how people felt when Noah, who never was a captain of a boat, built that boat, and he had never built a boat in his life. I mean, that would shock you too. Same way with this. When they ascend in the cloud, people will be shocked. Because these people never professed to be Jesus or anybody else, and they're not. But they're witnesses. And being witnesses, they will ascend into a cloud. And the same hour was there a great earthquake. Now that earthquake is talking about the 9.4 earthquake. The 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. In other words, 7,000 souls will be taken from the earthquake. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's coming. The 9.4 earthquake, yeah. And you see, when it hits, it will take 7,000 souls. And people will be very frightened. Because there's nothing they can do, no place they can go. I mean, what are they going to do? They're trapped in their cities. They can't get out, they can't go anywhere. They're safer to stay where they are. The second woe is past. Behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And that's when the flooding will come. There'll be great flooding. Well, I will continue this on another one because this has taken quite a long while.